I framed a kid. Oh no. Oh, we're in confessions. This one's gonna be real bad. I was dating this woman who had a kid. Oh my god. Mind you, I don't mind children, but he was being an absolute little shit to me all day. So we get him to bed, and she lets me sleep in since I didn't have to be at work for a few more hours. Then, I ate all of his fruit by the foot, but stashed all the wrappers and box under his bed. She asked me that night if I ate all of his candy and said no, but I saw him eating one before bed, and she grounded the hell out of him. Courtney, if you see this, well, sorry. Feels good to get this off my chest. Wow, you're really weird, dude. Like, look, we've all been there. Not just like if a kid's pissing us off, but just in general, you know, we feel slighted. How do we get revenge, right? But dude, you were a grown-ass man. That's kind of pathetic and lame. I'm glad you got it off your chest, but whoo, you sad, dog. You sad. I once let a girl who thought I was her drug dealer give me a blowjob. Okay, you didn't let her do... Ooh, okay, let's see this. You read that right. I was partying at a friend's neighbor's house, and the guy and his wife thought I was their drug dealer. Big red. Full disclosure. I wasn't big at just 5'7" tall, and my hair is just slightly red. Anyway, we ran out of booze and I was sent on an alcohol run. When I returned, the wife opened the passenger side door and jumped in my car. She started going on about how nice it was of Big Red to front them whatever it was that he gave them, hoping that they'd pay at a later date. It was at this point I realized she was calling me that name all night thinking I was someone else. Despite my insistence that I wasn't who she said I was, she wouldn't hear of it and started rubbing my crotch before unzipping my pants and giving me the sloppiest drunken BJ of all time. I was horrified and looking around to see if anyone was coming to ambush me while enjoying myself. That sure was a confession, my guy. Don't ever talk about that again. Just don't. Just don't. I can't help but stare at girls' boobs when they are braless in public. Yes, you can. Yeah, you can help it. I've noticed lately that more and more girls are going braless, and I have absolutely zero problems with it. Yeah, 'cause you're weird? My problem is I find it impossible not to stare at girls' nipples if they're poking through their shirt. I see so many beautiful girls walking up and down the streets, and immediately their nipples catch your eyes, and I'll notice them catching me staring at them, even though I'm trying my hardest not to make it obvious. Anyone have input on whether or not girls are okay with that? I don't think they are. No, I don't think women are okay with you doing that. They're not going braless because they want people to look at their boobs. You know, from what I have heard, bras just suck ass, and nobody likes dealing with them a lot. You know, not blanket statement across the board, but yeah, you can help it. All you have to do, and this is kind of crazy, is not look at people's boobs. It is that easy, okay? I'm a woman with big boobs who goes braless whenever possible. I don't care if I catch you looking. I understand that the novelty of unbound breasts is distracting, but looking and staring are different things. If we're having a conversation and you can't or don't care to make eye contact because my humanity is less interesting to you than my tits, then it'll be a short conversation. So yeah, I could see that. Like, I don't mind if I catch you looking. I mean, my boobs are, you know, breasting boobly, you know, as some romance novels would say. But yeah, I can't help myself from staring. That's such a dumbass thing to say. Like, no, you can. It's easy. My boyfriend just admitted he's a psychopath to me and that he picked me. Oh, good God, that's a long one. Uh-oh. I don't know where else to say this, so I'll leave it here. I've been with him for about 6 months and have known him for about 3 months before that. He's gorgeous and witty, intelligent? I just invented a new word, and I think it might actually work. Witty, intelligent, charismatic. Genuinely not at all what I stereotyped a psychopath to be. Really? They're very good actors. I truly would have never known it. Sure, sometimes he can be a little cold, a little dry, and there have been times in our relationship where I'm expressing something he's done to express me that I'm catching the drift he genuinely does not give a f***, even if he amends it. My biggest clue, however, was watching him adapt insanely good depending on those around him. We've always been in the same friend group, so I've always seen him act a certain way, behave a certain way. And yes, being his girlfriend, I get to see a different side to him, but barely. 2 nights ago, I went to a work event. for his work with him, and I watched in awe as he literally acted like an entirely different person. Everyone loves him because he was acting exactly how they wanted him to, needed him to. The jokes they told that I could have sworn he would think were heinous, he laughed at and made similar jokes. Topics of discussion he does not care for, they brought up, and he talked with them feigning amazing interest. It was like he had morphed into this amazing person for them. One nothing like the person I was used to. I asked him about it on the drive back to mine. He tried gaslighting me. He acted normal. I didn't buy it. I didn't invite him to mine like I always did, and I guess that's when I figured, or when he figured I was mad. He didn't contact me for 2 days. My boyfriend had upset me, and he didn't care to contact me, Kay. Then he ended up showing up and insisting to talk to me, and he told me he was a psychopath. I laughed in his face and told him to get out. He brought his medical information with him, stubborn prick, to prove it all. The tests, the diagnosis, all of it. I was floored. He told me that people like him were extremely good at adapting to social situations that served them to fit into. Of course, being friendly and liked at work served him. It's why he's been promoted so fast. It's never a bad thing to have too many friends, so he masks and adapts when meeting new people and screens them to decide if he really even wants or cares to have them for a friend. I asked him, why me? Why had he made me his long-term girlfriend? And he simply said, I'm at a point in my life where I think I should have a girlfriend. Probably one I'll marry. I knew you for 3 months and I liked you enough, so I picked you. Picked me? He told me it was when him and I were walking back to mine, and I had made a joke he found genuinely funny. And he noticed he found me genuinely pretty, and he decided then and there, yeah, okay, I'll pick her. And boom, a month later we were together. I'm so confused. Does this mean he likes me? Does he love me? Is this as close to love as psychopaths get? I asked him if he genuinely loved me, and he said, I would marry you. Doesn't that answer it? No. I said I needed time, and he just left. I realized he literally doesn't give a shit, so that's why. But he is giving me time. I love him. I don't know if I could live with this. I'm just confused, and I don't want to tell anyone just yet. I feel embarrassed that I never figured it out. Anyways, leaving it here. Good lord. That is a lot. That is so much to take in. I'm gonna have to sit on that for a while myself, because when it comes to psychopaths or psychopathy or sociopathy, stuff like that, you only ever see it in movies and TV shows, generally associated with a guy who is a serial killer or something along those lines. You know, they become a murderer because they're so good at it, because psychopaths are just brilliant at being social chameleons and stuff. But, I mean, I don't know. I guess there's a lot more we all have to learn about what that actually means. My sister's boyfriend touched my boob. I was with my sister's boyfriend and his friend at the beach. He wanted to use my chest as a pillow. He then proceeded to push away my boob with his hand. He did this multiple times and said, "You don't mind, do you?" I didn't really know what to say and thought that maybe he found this normal. Maybe he was just really touchy with everyone in that way. He called me prude before and also said that he couldn't believe that I was my sister's little sister. He had put his hand on my hip while he laid down next to me. I called him my brother as a joke. He said that he found it weird that I called him that. He also said that day I was a replacement for my sister. Should I tell my sister? They're living together and are moving into their new home next month. I feel like you should. You know, I definitely feel like you should tell your sister about this dude being pretty creepy and touchy. Like, straight up. That is weird. I don't... Let her know. My now ex-wife was begging for a divorce during my chemo treatments. This won't be a long read, and this isn't much of a confession because just about everyone I know knew about it. So, really, I'm on here to talk about it and hear everyone else's opinions and comments. You let me know if it's screwed up or not. So I was diagnosed with stage 3 Hodgkin's lymphoma back in November of 2022. This was a very treatable type of cancer, and my oncologist and other doctors reminded me every week, and it made me feel at ease. At the time, I was married to this woman of 5 years, together for 10 total. In the beginning, she was there for me and helped me every step of the way to get through this process of me having cancer. Keep in mind, as a grown man, internally I was a nervous wreck 24/7. I started my 4 cycles of treatment on January of 2023. After about my second cycle, I was feeling the effects of the chemotherapy. Puking every day, feeling weak and tired, hair and beard was falling out, and it resulted in me having to shave everything. During all that, we get into a fight, and it leads to her telling me she straight up is not happy in our marriage and that she wants a divorce. No matter how many times I've suggested that we get counseling of some sort, it just never seemed to interest her at all into trying. So by the time I was finished with my 4th cycle of chemo, I packed my shit, bought a camper, and set it up on my uncle's property. Luckily, I have really good family that helped me out every step of the way. Thinking back on how we ended things, it really felt messed up, and I was sad that it happened that way. But I will say this though, I am very happy with where I'm at now. I'm over a year into remission, and every CT scan so far has been coming back clean. I'm living with the best girlfriend I could ever ask for. Thanks in advance to those who took the time to read my little confession. Oh, My Little Confession, I love that show. I don't care that a 7-year-old is getting hate for abusing a cat. I recently learned that a 7-year-old got doxxed and a lot of death threats for posting a video of abusing what looks like, to me, a kitten. What? I don't care that he got a lot of hate and death threats. I don't know how to feel about the doxing part. I hope that scared the living shit out of him and that no one abuses that information like a predator or something like that. What I care about is that I hope this whole situation puts the fear of God in him and that he cries and regrets everything he did. If a 7-year-old can record a video of abusing his cat and upload it to YouTube with a well-written title, then in my opinion, he deserves that backlash. I understand that a lot of people don't like how the internet is handling it by giving him death threats, but I don't care. He knows what he's doing, and I hope him and his parents learn from this. I had my mom help me upload videos when I was 7, so either the 7-year-old did all of this work by himself or the parents helped him. I just don't care. What the hell is going on? Can't stop thinking about what the dermatologist said. Yeah, weird, I know. Went to a new dermatologist recently. My old one retired, so I was assigned this new doc. He was young and professional. He did his exam, and then at the end of the visit, he complimented me on my skin. You have beautiful skin, great color and texture. It felt very genuine. I'm a middle-aged, morbidly obese, perimenopausal woman? I've never seen that word before. Who never gets any positive remarks, so I soaked that up like a dry sponge. Didn't realize how thirsty I was for genuine positive compliments and attention. It has shaken me, because it woke that part of my memory that I used to be a young, attractive, thin woman who did always get compliments and attention. I've been so used to being unseen. Anyhow, I guess my confession is that I'm embarrassed that such a simple remark has made me feel so much. I thanked him, but damn, I should have been able to move on from this. I ended my relationship this morning. It was the time to make some life decisions. Before I don't know who I am. I ended my 4+ year relationship this morning at 9:39 EST. I'm not sure what I've been doing for 4 years with this person. After a Trump tirade about the debate, she still backs him, looks at me and makes comments about me and my beliefs. I love this country and we do need to save it. My last words to her were, I cannot respect someone who respects this man. Well, it sounds like she also disrespects you by making comments about you and your beliefs, because you're not valid. Thanks for reading. I needed to share and need a beer and real human connection, or interaction. Get me the hell out of this place and talk to me, so I know I'm not alone. Edit. I did not end this relationship over Donald Trump. I am 54 years old and have spent the last 4 years with someone who turned into a different person over the last 2 years. And this event was the final straw for me. I've been trying to get her into therapy with me and work on the relationship, only to be met with ridicule and nastiness. I made a decision that I needed to make, and I am venting as I am in the thinking process of the next chapter of my life. Actually, very smart edit to throw in there so people don't turn this into, oh wow, 'cause of Donald Trump. I mean, he was the last straw at this point. I'm a nurse. This may have been the worst thing I've ever done. Oh, jeez. I, 26, have been a nurse going on 5 years now. That's not a ton of time, but I've had my fair share of mishaps throughout my career. Currently, I work as a nurse at an outpatient surgery center. My job is to get the patient ready for their surgery and recover them afterwards. During the pre-op period, we connect electrodes to a patient's chest for EKG monitoring to monitor their heart throughout the procedure and during the recovery. After the patient has had enough time to recover, we take the patches off. This is where I messed up. I was taking care of a woman in her early 20s. For context's sake, she was small. There are 5 patches I needed to take off as I was getting her ready for discharge. 2 are at the corners of each side of the chest, 1 in the center, and 2 just below the breast on each side. The patient gowns at my center only tie in the back. Some places have gowns with buttons on the sleeve, which can be undone for easier access. My center does not have this. This then means that to reach the lower two patches, I have to loosen the gown and reach down in the front to get them off of them. In this particular case, this patient was somewhat shy and did not want to be exposed. Her mom was in the room with her, and I offered her as much privacy as I could. I only slightly lowered her gown so as not to expose anything and blindly reached down to grab the last two patches. I pinched at what I thought to be the electrode attached to the patch. I was wrong. It was the unfortunate patient's nipple. I apologized immediately and quickly went about finishing my task while internally dying. For her credit, she did not really react too much besides turning a few shades red, as I am sure I had as well. I got the patient out and sent her on her way, unable to look her in the eye, and spent the rest of the day battling my embarrassment. I told my coworkers what I had done, and the story quickly spread to the staff. They all had a good laugh at it. It's not the worst thing in the world, and realistically, it wasn't that terrible of a thing to do, but it has definitely been the worst and most embarrassing thing I've done thus far. See, that feels kind of lighthearted in comparison to some of the other ones that we've seen on here today. I mean, I get that it was an inappropriate mistake, but it seems like the two of you went your separate ways and probably now have a story that you're comfortable sharing because it's kind of funny, you know? It's just a silly oops. I messed up, you apologized, everything's okay. I regret having an open marriage. I'm 31 and female, married and have a daughter, so my husband and I had an open marriage for about a year. I love my husband, but he was the one that came up with the idea. Yeah, that's always a great idea. He knew I had kind of a hypersexual lifestyle before meeting him, so to make the story short, he wanted me to sleep with other guys. That being said, I'm falling for this guy I met. He's perfect. Everything. I still love my husband, but it hurts me to say that if I had to choose one for the other, I wouldn't choose my husband. When my husband wanted this, it spiced things up, but I started to see him differently. I'm just regretting the whole situation. I hope things can stay the same and not end up in a divorce or anything. I do love my husband so much, but it's not the same love I had when we first got married. Counseling, yesterday. Therapy, yesterday. I hate my wife for opening the marriage. Oh, wait a minute. I, 34, hate my 39-year-old wife. Jeez, okay. She suggested we open up the marriage a few years ago to spice things up. She invited a few women she was interested in into bed, and I ended up sleeping with her and them. I did not find any of them the least bit attractive and kinda went through the motions, and it was awful. She also initiated a foursome with a couple, and I just had to leave the room before doing anything and decided to close the relationship shortly after. Since then, every time we have sex, we do it doggy style because I don't want to see her face. She thinks I just enjoy having sex with her in her favorite position. I have recently found out she has repeatedly cheated with multiple men and women behind my back through Snapchat texts. It's like my whole relationship was a waste. I cannot remember why we got married because I cannot remember a time where I enjoyed her company. Good Lord. We do not hang out together. We do have no hobbies together. I refuse to watch any movies or TV with her, and I stopped drinking completely while she has to be drunk 3 to 5 times a week. I will be initiating a divorce soon, and I'm actually excited to do so. I was gonna say, this has to end in you leaving, for sure. It definitely seems like the healthiest thing, probably for the both of you. I will leave my wife within 2 days after being 5 years together. Throwback to her youth. Her father died in a car accident when she was 14, got in a depression when she was 16, lost all of her friends and never had any people to hang out with or have fun with. Today, she turned out to be this amazing, beautiful woman who is now 5 years together with me. We're 2 years married and built a house 1 year ago. Last year, she changed her job and now has a lot of female colleagues from her age, 28, who love to party. She got totally addicted to partying. We got in an open marriage so she can have fun without being worried of doing something wrong. She postponed her child wish so she can continue having fun. She works 3 weekend days in the month and parties 4 weekend days in the month. My last year consisted of only waiting for her to wake up at 3 o'clock in the afternoon to just have a lazy day. I'm no longer number one in her life. She prefers partying instead of going on a day trip with me to the beach or the forest nearby. In the week, she works until 9 o'clock and wants to go to bed at 11 because she's tired. So almost no quality time during the week as well. I'm done. It destroys me only to see her having fun and not giving any attention to me. I said yes on everything she wanted to do to keep her happy, but she totally lost sight of my needs. We talked a lot about it and she understands, but she does not want to give up the life she has now. For the first time, she's happy and having fun, and she won't compromise. So now you all know. I don't know what to do. I will tell her the day after tomorrow that we are finished. I am bleeding inside. Greetings from a broken man. Well, she doesn't get to have her cake and eat it too, you know? I mean, that's... if she's just... like, what are you to her at this point? It seems like, as you pointed out, she's not giving you any attention. And look, you don't give your spouse every single ounce of your attention forever, but if you ignore them completely forever and go have fun without them exclusively, man, you guys aren't together at all. Edit, thanks for all the support. I just want to add, it's funny to see how many people get stuck on the open marriage thing. This doesn't affect us. We had some arguments, yes, but we also had some fun with it. The major problem here is she prefers partying above spending quality time with me. Going out is for her a possibility to run away from her emotional problems, and she got addicted to it. We lived together, and in 7 days, there might have been 16 hours where I see her. See, yeah, that's f***ed up. Update, I went 2 weeks on holidays to Morocco, and just before that, I made the step and told her I want a divorce and my reasons. Only response I got was, okay, I understand. No arguments from her side. She didn't want to try and persuade me not to do it. Today, her mom called me and she is 100% supporting me and she regrets her daughter doing this shit. She tried to convince me that her daughter had some time alone and had to figure some things out. A friend of mine had a talk with my ex and she admitted she misses me and she's not sure if this is what she wants. My ex went to southern France on holiday, just had a 14-hour drive and texted me she is going to that club again. I made the correct call. This ends here and now. Nor her mom nor her friends can convince me that she wants or needs a chance to get me back. Good God. I lied to my coworkers about having a girlfriend so I can go home early and watch My 600-Pound Life every night, and my life has gotten exponentially better. Oh, that rules. I'm a chef, and I usually get off of work around 12 to 1. Usually, all the mates want to go have shots and lines at the local until we stagger back in at 14 for our, yeah, I loved saying time like that, for our next shifts. And I've happily obliged all year. This month, I started leaving very quickly and going straight home. Originally just to save money. Usually right when I get home, My 600-Pound Life is on, so I started watching it and oh my God. Equally disturbing, motivational, and inspiring. I'm quite skinny, but one quote that sticks with me is, most people with addictions get to lie and pretend it all away. I don't get that option. Totally stuck with me. I truly believe if my addiction manifested itself, I'd be grotesque. Anyways, I've been doing this every night this month to the point where a rumor that I must be seeing someone began, so I ran with it. I've never felt better and more secure in my sobriety and peace of mind. Straight home, cup of tea, feed the cat, My 600-Pound Life, motivation to stay clean and stay sober for the night. Peace. It's the weirdest shit, but I'm loving it. Man, that is currently what I am chasing right now. I need to figure out how to stop the alcohol, man. I don't know how to stop. I don't know how. And god damn it. My girlfriend didn't want me to find her Reddit account. I did anyways, and I regret it. Uh-oh, Reddit account. Does she like memes? So for context, I've been with my beautiful girlfriend for a few months now, and she's absolutely wonderful. I love her. Recently, we got onto the topic of Reddit somehow, and she said she uses it constantly. I asked her for her username, and she flat out rejected me and said no. We went back and forth a bit, and I decided to drop the subject. The next day, she gave me the username and apologized. When I searched the account, I discovered it had been made that day. That was an instant red flag to me, and my mind went to the worst places. I thought she was cheating on me using Reddit or something. No. Does she really really like something lame? Is she super into Warhammer? Okay, no. Anyway, I confronted her about this and she immediately went into defense mode and said it was to get me off her back because she has things she's not comfortable with me seeing. This started a huge fight where I blatantly said I knew she was cheating and she was so offended and stormed out. I figured if I'm going to find out what's going on, I needed to see the phone for myself. I sent her an apology and we talked things out. A few weeks go by and I come home from work and she's passed out on the couch with TikTok open and playing, meaning her phone was unlocked. Cool, man. I went through the entire thing and found nothing, even in the messages with her friends. She was bragging about me. I finally got to the Reddit and my heart sank. She has made multiple posts in I see, survivor support group. Mind you, she's never told me she said this happened to her. She had made a post telling her story, which made me sick to my stomach. She had been assaulted by her ex for years. She lived with him from age 15 to 18. Her most recent post was asking for advice on how to have a normal, intimate life, because every time she tried to be intimate with me, it would bring back memories, and she was worried it would cause a panic attack. She mentioned in the group she didn't tell me and didn't want to tell me because she was too embarrassed. My heart sank, I felt sick to my stomach. I can't believe she's been going through this. It made sense. We had been together for months and we had never had sex. Just a few moments where she let me, okay, dude. But she asked me to stop, which I immediately did. I have never touched her without asking. I have never made her feel bad and always tell her that she can tell me no because it's her body. I don't have a high sex drive, so, it doesn't really matter. It's not something I need. If I would have known, I would never have made any moves. I would have waited for her. I would have done research on how to support her and make her feel safe. I would have helped pay for therapy and helped her find anything she needed to heal. It's been 2 weeks since I found out. I haven't told her because it's her story, and I want her to have the right to share it when she feels safe. Well, you kind of took that away from her because you didn't trust her. You took that away from her because you already know. I've avoided anything sexual so that she can make the move when she's comfortable. This has been eating me alive. I feel awful for looking. I feel like I violated her. Well, I'm glad that you understand what you've done and the gravity of this situation, okay? I'm glad you get it. And I'm glad that it seems like you are moving in the correct direction. But yeah, you did kind of take that away. She might get around to it. But you gotta realize, now she might not. My ex made me watch the weirdest shit. I have never told this to anyone, and genuinely, I just need to tell anyone this. My ex and I were hanging out while we were still together when we see some meme related to BJ's. He jokes about me giving him one, so I joke back and say, do it yourself. He then proceeds to tell me that he actually could. Of course I don't believe him, but we moved on. Later that same day, while making out and already naked, he goes, I told you I could do it, watch. Then he proceeded to do it. In hindsight, while impressive, I genuinely do not understand why he would show me that. What he thought my reaction was going to be, or why he expected us to still have sex afterwards. Edit. I'm not trying to demonize my ex. It was just an odd story that was stuck on my mind. If you don't know anything about a relationship besides a self-suck story, maybe don't start judging in weird ways. He was emotionally and physically abusive later on in the relationship. If I wanted to demonize him, I would have not chosen the story of him sucking his own dick. Yeah, that wouldn't be the way to go if they were a bad person in general. It's just, yeah, that is strange. That's real strange. Generally, you want to have a long conversation about weird stuff that you're into before you go, check this shit out. My wife died earlier this year. According to everyone who knows us, it was quick. She went in the hospital that afternoon, died overnight. I'm the only one who knows that it's a lie. In reality, she was in the hospital for nearly a week, but she hated people seeing her when she was weak and begged me not to tell anyone. And then a day later, she wasn't lucid enough to change her mind, and I couldn't betray her. Not when I figured she would be up in a few days and angry at me for telling. I told work I had COVID, so I couldn't come into the office, and worked from home or the hospital. She'd been laid off recently, with all the layoffs happening, and it had been quiet while recovering. So no one suspected anything. She was even in the hospital during my birthday, but I just posted on social media a pic of her present. Neither of us were the type to wait till the day of to hand it over, so I already had it. No one questioned it. I sat through the worst conversations of my life with the doctors alone, but I truly didn't believe she was going to die. She was young, we had time, I was wrong. An unexpected medical issue and she's gone. No one knows still. I can't tell them, but I can tell anonymous strangers on the internet as I toast to our anniversary. So happy anniversary, baby. I'm nothing without you. Jesus. I never realized people wipe while sitting down. I mean, I do a handstand. I'm 34 years old, and a few months ago, someone was talking about teaching their kid potty training and said he was having difficulty sitting and wiping. And I said, well, why would you do that while sitting? Why not stand up? And he looked at me and says, no, sitting and wiping is the right way. Your cheeks are already spread. Anyways, I stand and wipe and never knew that was different from anyone else. I feel like we're about to have another wave of people that are like, well, I stand up when I do that, and it's going to cause a whole cascade of, it's going to be like this dumbass war of, no, you're an idiot if you do that. No, you're stupid if you sit. It's like, who gives a crap? Okay, I guess we all do. We all do, at least, once a day, hopefully. Jesus. I lied and canceled my Friday night plans by saying I was sick. I'm not. I'm just an emotional wreck because I discovered that in every childhood photo I have, I'm covered in bruises. As I was putting on my makeup to go out tonight, I tracked down a specific picture in one of my phone's photo albums. I found it, but then I zoomed in and made the realization. Went to the next one, same thing. I don't know how I never noticed before. I'm 27 now, but it's in every single photo if you look closely enough. Picture after picture of my toothy smile, messily cut bangs, and bruises. In a picture of me smiling with my cousins at my grandmother's house, I can see my mother's fingers imprinting on my arm. I remember that day. I remember that bruise. There's one of me standing on the couch. My bottom lip is split and my left cheek is dark red. I have my arms around my parents' shoulders, and everyone's grinning ear to ear. I was about that age the first time my father tried to sneak in bed with me. Both me and my parents thought we were hiding it so well from everyone else. We were a perfectly normal family for the area. They used to send me to school with makeup on, brief me on the lies I'd tell to explain my injuries, and made it abundantly clear that if I ever told anyone the truth that they'd kill me. But it was right there. Nobody saw it. Nobody else knows. At most, my closest friends know that my mother hit me once because I've joked about it, but there is not a soul that knows the extent. I love my friends, but there's not a chance I could speak to them honestly about this. I've tried therapy several times. I've paid a lot of money to sit there and try and work up the nerve to just admit it, but then I can't. I end up lying for an hour and never going back. Maybe one day. Who knows? Maybe this Reddit confession will be a baby step in the right direction. Still, this is just a hiccup. It really sucks, and I'm shocked at how it hit me like a freight train. I was looking forward to the plans I bailed on. Hope they enjoy it without me. I'm going to allow myself to be utterly miserable tonight and then do something fun tomorrow. Honestly, even just typing this up helped calm me down quite a bit. If you made it this far, thanks for reading. Congrats. You're the only people who know my little secret. I appreciate that. Go enjoy your weekend. I'm gonna go wipe this makeup off now. Yeah, I mean, you were able to finally say it. Sure, it might have been to a bunch of strangers on the internet, but hey, as you said, a baby step in the right direction. Any step in the right direction is what you want, right? And this is a net positive. I will see it as that. Hopefully you're able to go back to someone like a real therapist again and finally go, this is what happened. And maybe fully get everything off of your chest and get those demons out of your head forever. Demons being your parents.